Hi everyone, this is Tom, and in this video it's Sunday morning. It's just after 6 a.m. and Sunday is the day where I go through my goals. And in this video I'm going to give you my framework, the way I think about setting goals, which is different to the traditional way that you would set goals. So what we're going to do is look at the traditional way, which is very briefly, we're going to go through, they talk about SMART goals. We're going to touch on that. Then we're going to go through my method, which involves outcomes and outputs. Then we're going to look at the example of what goals I've set over the past sort of 5 weeks. Then we're going to go through the way that I track my progress and look at how well I did on my goals this week. So let's jump straight into it. So the first thing is the traditional one. So this is SMART goals. And SMART goals are the old way. So this is kind of the way that I was always taught when I came up through medical school and then into my training programs as a doctor and then a GP, is to set these SMART goals. And SMART is a mnemonic. Whoops. And what it stands for is specific, meaning you set a very specific goal. Run 5K, lose 5 kilos, things like that. Say get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Some kind of very specific goal. Needs to be measurable. So it's not vague. It's not sort of like get healthy. It's get to 80 kilos in body weight. So it's very specific and you can say, yes, I've ticked this box. I've achieved that goal. Achievable, meaning that it's realistic for you and what you're capable of at the moment. Relevant, meaning that it aligns with your kind of long-term goals and your long-term ambitions. So if it's to pass an exam, that's going to be, aligning with furthering your career. And then time-bound, meaning that you set a deadline and say, I want to lose 5 kilos by the 5th of May. And that's kind of time-bound specific goals. So I don't like doing SMART goals because they're extremely rigid. You're kind of setting yourself into this very rigid box that isn't adaptable, doesn't sort of change with as you grow and you learn more stuff. And then it's kind of time bound and it's boring in a sense, because what you're saying is like, if it was to do the washing up, it's like, okay, do the washing up, then the washing up's finished, then you've achieved your SMART goal, which is kind of boring. You're just ticking off this box and you can't adapt it. You can't grow with it. The goal can't get bigger and bigger as you go on. So this is not something I get too excited about. Now, this is my one. This is how I do it, which is outcome and output. So you set the outcome and you set the output. So let's have a look at this. Let's break this down. What's the outcome? So this is like what you want to happen. And actually, in contrast to SMART goals, where it has to be sort of very specific, you have to put down exactly what you want to happen. The outcome can be really quite vague in this method. So the outcome could be, we'll go through some examples, and we'll show you my goals. But the outcome for this could be, I just want to get healthier, or I want to get better at piano, or I want to get better at playing this sport, or I want to get better at meeting people, or I want to become more confident. So it can be very vague. And I think this is more natural to people. You say, what do you want? Oh, I want to, learn medicine. I want to learn French. I want to do, I want to get better at running. It's a more natural thing that you want to do. And then you set the output. So what are you going to do? And the important thing is this is regular action. So you're saying, I am going to every day do this thing, or 3 times a week, I'm going to do this thing. And we'll look at some more detailed examples in a second. Why is this framework good, in my opinion? And why does it work? It's worked for me for more than 20 years of chasing goals and improving skills and things. But essentially, how do you learn anything? How do you get better at anything? Think about what the answer might be to that. How do you get better at things? How do you learn? The ultimate answer is it comes down to feedback loops. So what's a feedback loop? So you take action, you do something, and then, so how do we know everything we know about science and medicine? How do we know that, let's say ACE inhibitors bring people's blood pressure down? How do we know that? Well, what we've done is we take a big load of people, we give them ACE inhibitors, we take action, and then we measure the result. So we see what happens, and then we reflect on it. So in this scenario, a bunch of researchers will sit down and type up a paper, publish that. Everybody will read the paper. Everybody thinks about the paper. And then we learn. And we make a conclusion. We make some adjustments. We figure some things out. And then we take further action. And then we look at the result of that. And we reflect on it. And we learn. And we do this over and over again. So in your own life, this could be that you're trying to get better at, say, playing basketball, something I've wanted to do in the past. You take action, so you go and practice shooting basketball hoops. So you shoot the basketball, you see the result, say 5 out of 10 of your shots go in. That's pretty good. But you look at the result in terms of, you reflect on, why did those 5 shots that didn't go in, why didn't they go in? What happened? Was I too short? Was my technique a bit off? Was my balance a bit off? What were all these factors that played into it? You learn from it, and then the next day you go back and do the same thing again. You take action again. You reflect on that, learn from it. And so you go through this feedback cycle. This is how you learn stuff. You need feedback cycles. So ultimately what happens is the more outputs or actions, so the more times you take action, see the result, reflect on it, learn, take action, and go through this feedback cycle, the more times you do that, this is the more feedback cycles. And this means more learning and progress. So if you set yourself an output goal, so you say, and we're going to look at my goals just after this. You can say, I'm going to go and practice playing basketball and shooting the specific shot. I'm going to do 20 shots per day or 100 shots per day. That's my output for this goal. The outcome is I want to get better at basketball. The output is I'm going to shoot 100 shots a day. Each day you do these 100 shots and you go through a feedback cycle. And so when you stack those days, day on day on day on day on, there's more and more feedback cycles. You're refining your skills and you're learning every day, and you're getting closer and closer towards this goal. However, the outcome goal is not time limited. Unlike SMART goals, where you time bound it, you have a specific and achievable goal. With the outcome and output goals, the outcome is could go on forever. You could do this forever. You can keep getting better at basketball for your entire life. And then the output is what helps you learn. And so actually, you can keep the same outcome goal and you can adapt the output goal as time goes on. Suppose your outcome goal is you want to get big muscles, and your output goal is you're going to do this certain training regime 4 times a week. After, say, 3 months or 6 months, you might start to plateau on that training regime, and you might say, I'm going to switch up this training regime, but have the same outcome goal. So let's have a look at my outcome and output goals at the moment. So these are my goals. And what I would say before I kind of go into these, I've been doing this process for, like I said, more than 20 years of just constantly chasing goals. Between intense periods of chasing goals and setting goals and achieving them, between those intense periods, I do take breaks. So this is a kind of natural thing. You'll have periods where you're really intensely going for something. I'm in one of those periods at the moment. I'm kind of locked in on these goals. And then you'll have periods where you really need to step back, give yourself time to rest, become excited about grinding again, become excited about pursuing goals again. And so there's this natural cycle of stress and rest. And that's okay. You don't need to chase goals constantly. But what I would say is, because I've been doing this for so many years, my goals are quite ambitious. And also I've set up my life in such a way where I can spend almost all my free energy pursuing these goals. And I've been very lucky in the kind of life circumstances where I can pursue these goals in terms of time and resources and things. But start out with very simple, easy things. These are a bit over ambitious, I would say, if you're just starting out. So start out with some easy things that are kind of more achievable. And you'll see that I'm not actually achieving these goals as we go and review them later on. So first one, let's look at the outcome. Outcome is to finish the Pediatrics 2nd edition book. Also the questions and the podcasts. So these kind of lump in together. So if I do a topic in pediatrics, say ventricular septal defects, I will do the book, questions and podcasts all together on that topic. And then let's look at the output. Is that I want to do 3 times per week. So I want to do 3 topics per week. Let's put topics. So it's very specific output. I want to complete 3 topics per week of these pediatric topics, including the book, questions, and podcasts. And so I've got this outcome. I'm not kind of setting a limit on it. I'm just putting this output, and with each topic, I'm kind of learning from doing that process, making progress towards this outcome. Now, the outcome is to grow the Zero to Finals YouTube channel. So what I'm doing here is, it's a very vague outcome, a very vague goal. This is not a SMART goal in the traditional sense. It's not really measurable. I'm not saying I want to get to X number of subscribers or I want to have X number of videos, whatever it is. It's a very vague goal, and that's intentional. And then I set an output, which is 1 video per week. And then I have another one. Outcome is to grow the Tom Watchman YouTube channel. So again, quite a vague goal. And this is this channel that you're watching this video on. And so the output here is 1 video per day. I kind of stepped it down to 3 videos a week, but at the minute I've been sustaining 1 a day, so I'm going to carry on with that. And if you've been watching this YouTube channel going back the past, I think this is video number 40 of this daily videos. A lot has happened since then. I've really refined how I make videos, the video quality, the video length, the content, everything seems to have improved because I'm going through these feedback cycles. And I'm kind of, I'm working out what people like, reading the comments. Each time I'm reflecting, learning from it, and trying to make a better video the next time. And then another outcome I'm chasing is get healthy and lose weight. So then my question is, how do I do this? How do I get healthy and lose weight? That's where the outputs come in. So here are the outputs that I'm aiming for. I got this daily diet. So I'm very specific about the diet that I have. I eat very specific foods, and I keep a close eye on my weight each day. And that way I can see whether the food I'm eating is too much or too little and adjust it. So having this diet every day keeps me kind of on track to losing weight and getting healthier. I'm going to make a video very soon about my full diet breakdown of exactly what I eat every single day. The other one is I do 3 times weight training sessions per week. So I'm strength training. Then I do 2 cardio sessions. And I do 2 climbs, doing rock climbing per week. So my hypothesis is that to get healthy and lose weight, these are the outputs that I need to do. Have this strict diet every day, do 3 weight training sessions per week, 2 cardio sessions per week, and 2 climbing sessions per week. And my hypothesis is that these will lead to me getting healthy and losing weight, which is very much the case, very much working. So the way I'm okay, let's look at some other examples because they're my goals, but we can look at some other things that may be, maybe more aligned with what you're looking at achieving. So one outcome could be get better at piano. So if you're a musician and you want to improve your piano skills and get better at piano, what kind of output might you have? Learn 1 song per week. So it's not like practice daily, because your daily practice could be a little bit, it could be practice daily, but your daily practice could be a little bit, how to describe it, sort of like vague and not really, you could just be playing the same song over and over and over again. You want an output that pushes you. So learn 1 song every week. And that way you have to do enough practice in order to achieve that 1 song every week. Next outcome could be learn medicine for finals. So you could have your final exams coming up. And what's your output? You cover 1 topic per day using the testing sandwich. And you'll see my video from a couple of days ago is all about the testing sandwich. And if you apply that testing sandwich to 1 topic per day, you'll get lots of feedback cycles. And by the time your exams come around, you'll be ready to, pass your final exams. And then outcome, you may also, if you're doing medicine, you may want to add in OSCE practice on top of that, blah, blah, blah. It could be to build your network. So you may be thinking, I need more people, I need more contacts, I need a bigger network, and that's going to help me in life. You may want to network with different people professionally, socially, build a community, that kind of thing. And then your output might be that you're aiming for meet 3 people weekly. And you could say when you meet 3 people, that could be like for coffee or drinks or sports or whatever it is. But you want to meet 3 new people per week and network with them. So these are the examples. We've gone through my goals. Now let's take a look at the way that I track my progress on these goals that we just went through. Here we are. This is my goals all laid out. So podcast 3 a week, video, Zero to Finals videos 1 a week, Tom Watchman videos 3 a week. My goal is weight loss of 0.5 to 1 kilo per week, 2 climbing sessions, 3 strength training sessions, and 2 cardio sessions per week. So let's have a look at how we did this week. And this week has been excellent in some ways, and in other ways, I've fallen short, mainly just through complete lack of time. I've just got to the point where I don't have any time left to do the things I need to do. So let's start with the things that we succeeded on. Firstly, I managed 7 outputs of Tom Watchman YouTube videos per week. These are the things that have taken up all my time per week. I am, this week, I've been putting out like half an hour, 40-minute, hour 20 long videos. So really, really crushing it with the Tom Watchman videos. But unfortunately, that's left me with no time left over. Next one, I have done 2 climbing sessions per week. I did 3 strength training sessions per week and 2 cardio sessions per week. So in terms of how I'm getting on with that, that's pretty good. So weight loss, I went from 91.2 to 91 kilograms. So this is a weight loss of 0.2 kilograms, and I'm aiming for 0.5 to 1 kilograms per week. I'm quite happy with 0.2 kilos because I dropped to 1.2 last week, and actually this 1.2 was probably too far and not very representative. I was probably just dehydrated, which is why I was particularly light, whereas this 1 kilo has been more stable. So all that to say, I'm happy with that. That's okay. I'm still losing weight and I feel fantastic. All my strength is up. My weightlifting numbers are up. My climbing is better. I feel good. My joints are healthy. So I feel like I'm on track with that. Then it comes to podcasts. I recorded 0 podcasts this week for the Zero to Finals podcast, which was frustrating, but it's just simply a case of time. These podcasts take a long time, and some things got to give, and I'm really into the Tom Watchman channel at the moment. And then how many Zero to Finals videos? Again, I recorded 0. I did make some great progress. I recorded a full script. I started the illustrations, but unfortunately, time was again an issue. So these are my goals. Hopefully we'll come back next Sunday, have a look again at how things have been going. And hopefully we're back on track with green all the way across the board. Hope that video was helpful. Consider trying this framework of outcome and output goals to see if it helps with you achieving things in your life. And if you want a really nice version of the illustrations I've been doing in these videos, you can head over to Patreon. There's a link in the description where I upload those. You can download them and they look really nice. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.